Thank you, Bob. I think we can all agree that we are very excited for the project to be completed down there with the viaduct and the seawall, and we can get that going, and looking very much forward to the expansion of the aquarium. Well, Jim Morton is the Director of Conservation and Education at the Seattle Aquarium. Now, Jim is the go-to guy if you have a question, any question, particularly as it pertains to the ocean. Or, Jim, is it oceans? Can you come up here and explain, please?
Good morning, everybody. So our theme this morning, One World Ocean, might have left some of you scratching your heads, because you may remember in school learning about at least 4 oceans, maybe 5, right? So Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, Indian, Antarctic. So 5 oceans, right? You may have even asked Siri this morning just to check in. She doesn't really know, but depending on how you asked her, she may have sent you to Wikipedia. Can't go wrong there. Or she may have given you kind of a weird estimate, like about 5 oceans. Kind of a strange way to answer that question, but why this discrepancy? Well, as it turns out, nobody really changed anything. It's not like Pluto. We didn't demote the oceans to seas or anything like that. As it turns out, One World Ocean is a very deliberate and intentional education and conservation strategy, so that we can help people understand that even though we may talk about 5 oceans, these bodies of seawater are really one interconnected global ocean. They share water, animals, nutrients, and energy. Water moves from one to the other and in and out of the water cycle. What that means is that the water in Puget Sound is shared with everyone on Earth. What happens in Puget Sound doesn't stay in Puget Sound. And what happens in the world's oceans, they also affect us in the Salish Sea. Now, the influence of our One World Ocean is all around us. It moderates our climate. It provides us with food, with recreation, commerce, and culture. Microscopic oceanic animals provide you with nearly half of the oxygen you breathe. That's essentially every other breath. And yet, it can be frustratingly difficult to engage people in the global ocean health crisis. Why? Well, as it turns out, 80% of Americans live within 2 hours of a coast, and yet it is depressingly common for our staff to learn that a student or even their parents has never been to the beach. We very rarely immerse ourselves in the sea in the way we can easily immerse ourselves in a forest or a meadow or a prairie. There are probably 2 million or so certified scuba divers in the United States. That sounds like a lot, but it's 0.5% of our population. If you add snorkelers to that number, it really balloons to a whopping 3%. So that means 97% of our fellow Americans have only superficially explored this ocean we share. The ocean is out of sight and out of mind for many, and that's led to public ambivalence about ocean conservation and climate change. But this is why we exist. It's our job to connect people to Puget Sound and the oceans. And we do that. We connect students and their families with immersive aquarium experiences. We connect ocean experts in conservation and research through our sea otter, octopus, and six-gill shark workshops. We connect ocean science and education to policy through our work with the Marine Conservation Network and the Aquarium Conservation Partnership. We are endeavoring to build a community of advocates that are willing to take action on behalf of the ocean. And we're doing that by connecting what we think and how we feel about the ocean to what we know needs to be done to protect and preserve this one world ocean we share. Now, our mission to inspire and connect is nowhere more evident than in our award-winning Beach Naturalist program. Every summer, 230 beach naturalists meet the public on 12 Puget Sound beaches on low tide days. They are unmistakable in their distinctive red hats. How many people here have interacted with beach naturalists on Puget Sound beaches? That's amazing. And you're not alone, because the beach naturalists have over 60,000 conversations every summer about Puget Sound conservation and beach etiquette. That's over 300,000 conversations since the program's inception. Last year, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums recognized the Beach Naturalist program for outstanding innovation and volunteer engagement. And just this year, the program's leader, Janice Matheson, was named Marine Educator of the Year by the Aquatic and Marine Educators of the Pacific Northwest. The Beach Naturalist program is just one vivid example of how the aquarium actively works to connect people to Puget Sound and our One World Ocean. But we have much work left to do. With your support, we can continue to expand our reach and deepen our engagement. We've only got one world ocean, so let's not waste it. Thank you for spending your morning with us.
Thank you, Jim. We are so incredibly fortunate to live right here on the Puget Sound and near so close to the ocean. And we are also very fortunate to have programs like the Beach Naturalist program so we can get to know the sea better and our role in keeping that one world ocean healthy. Our hope is that you will take advantage of that program for yourselves and for future generations. And that is exactly what our keynote speaker is concerned about today. Dr. Elliot Norris, and don't let him even hint